All right. Well, I'm so excited to see you all again and to see some new people as well. So, this is day three and the final night of the confidence shift 3 days to unlock your leadership. And so, this is all about strengthening your leadership from the inside out. So, let me ask you, so 3 days ago, a lot of you were carrying a story that you said weren't quite ready. And that leadership was something that you were looking toward, that role that had to come before the identity. So just take a look at where you are now. And so let me ask you this. How did you all do your identity this morning, the description that you have? You did that, and then did you use your anchor today at some point? Okay, well, so we'll go over that in a little bit. That's great. So, like I said, you've written a description of the elevated version, and this was in day one. So you're going to want to see that if you missed that of yourself. And you have an anchor that you can activate anywhere and anytime. And you have a 60-second reset that regulates your nervous system before your most important moments. So that is not nothing. That is a foundation. And I know a lot of you feel empowered, which some of you had said, which is wonderful. So today, we're going to build on that foundation. And by the end of this session, you will have a complete picture of what it means to lead from the inside out. So I want to talk about presence today, because presence is what makes your identity visible. It's the bridge between who you are on the inside and who the room experiences you on the outside. So there are three pillars of leadership presence, and I want to walk you through each one of those. So pillar one is how you occupy space. And I love this one. Leaders take up intentional space, not aggressive space, intentional space. So what does this mean? This means that you don't minimize yourself before you've even started. You don't apologize for having a perspective. You don't shrink your physical presence because you're worried about taking too much. When you walk into a room, your body communicates before your mouth does. And your shoulders back, feet grounded, eye contact that says, I'm here and I'm glad I'm here. And that's what you want to portray. So here's a small but powerful shift. Stop making yourself smaller in the physical space. So what do I mean by that? Take up your chair. Take up the full chair. Stop crossing your arms across your body, your legs. Stop speaking to your notes rather than to the room. The women who get promoted aren't always the ones who said the most. They're the ones who seemed most at home in the room. So take up space. Now, pillar two is how you speak. And this is where I see women lose authority they've already earned. Not because of what they say, but because of how they say it. So here are 4 patterns that cost you the room. 1, filler language. Things like, like, sort of, kind of, These aren't nervous tics. They're places where you're filling the silence because silence feels vulnerable. But silence is actually where authority lives. That's always a hard thing to do. 2, upward inflection, ending sentences as if they're questions, like saying something like, I think we should move forward with this, instead of, I think we should move forward with this. You want to make that statement, that commandment, more of a command type, not a harsh one. That question mark signals uncertainty. And so it's going to signal it even when you're certain. And it's going to take away from your authority for sure. Number 3 is overqualification. For example, saying things like, this might be a crazy idea, but, or sorry, if this is wrong, but, and blah, blah, blah. I could be cut off here, but, and you're qualifying. You're pre-apologizing for taking up space. Number 4 is rushing to close. Speaking faster as you get to the end of your point because you're already bracing for a response. That's a big one. And I know that takes a little time. I know that was one that I certainly had to work on. You want to slow down, land your point, and just let it breathe. So like I said, that was me. So how you end. This is the most underestimated element of leadership communication. Most women rush to the end of their sentences because they're unconsciously seeking approval. They want to get to the part where the other person responds so they know if what they said was okay. Leaders don't seek approval. They invite engagement. So seeking approval sounds like, is that okay? Am I on the right track? And that's easy to do. Now, inviting engagement sounds like, listen to the difference. What questions do you have? I'd love to hear your reaction. Where do you see this landing? Same conversation, completely different energy. One is asking to be validated, and the other is leading the exchange. So we're going to do a little exercise. We're going to work with that for a little bit. So you have your pens, grab your pen, and I'm going to give you the uncertain, so we're going to practice this. I'm going to give you the uncertain version of a phrase, and I want you to write the decisive upgrade. So this is something that I'm going to want you to think about this week. And then we're going to do it together. So actually, we are going to do it together. So what I want you to do is just write down, if this is the uncertain phrase. I just wanted to quickly mention blah, blah, blah. How would you reword that in a more decisive better way, more authoritative way. So we'll call it the upgrade. So just write down what you have. And so I want to give you an example. So instead of I just wanted to quickly mention, you could say I want to raise something important. So I remember learning a long time ago not to, and I was always surprised about it, not to use the word just. You probably know, you may know that. That just diminishes everything that you say. So switch that to I want, that decisive mode. All right, the next one. I think we might want to ugh, I think we might want to consider going to a new venue, whatever you want to say, going out to a movie. I think we might want to consider. So the upgrade, and they're all good. Whatever you say, there's many ways of saying this. I'm just kind of giving you an example. The upgrade would be, here's what I recommend. I think, here's what I recommend. We should change the venue. That's what people look for in leaders. Okay, so here's the next one. Sorry to interrupt, but sorry to interrupt, but blah, 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 blah. Sorry to interrupt, but this is what I think. Blah, 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 blah. So let's make this more empowering and just say, I want to add something here. So many of us say sorry. I think women in general too much, right? So the next one is, again, asking, does that make sense? Does that make sense? And this one always fooled me because I have a mentor that I follow who is very, very, very successful. And so and I've been coached actually by her, not one on one, but it, and she says that all the time. She says it all the time to people. Yeah, does this make sense? And it just doesn't sound right. I always thought that coming from her because she is very powerful. Uh, so a better way would be to say, what questions do you have? How can I make this better for you? That would be the leader questions. I think we got two more here. So I could be wrong, but I feel like maybe blah blah blah. I could be wrong, but I feel like maybe. So how would you reframe that? How would you? upgrade that. So a great way to do that would be to say, my read on this is blah, blah, blah. That's a decisive answer that people like to hear. One more. I'm not sure if this is the right place to bring this up, but I'm not sure if this is the right place to bring this up, but and yeah, so go ahead. I love to say this because it sort of encompasses a lot, including others. I want to put something on the table. So you're including the others. So that would be the decisive, better way of saying that, leader way of saying that. So you notice something that the content is identical. The authority is completely different. The shift isn't about being more aggressive. It's about being more honest. The decisive version is actually more truthful. You do have a recommendation. You do want to add something. You're just removing the layer of apology that you've been wrapping around it. So this week, I want you to catch yourself every time you use an uncertain phrase and replace it. Every single time. This is about mastering our minds, and it takes continuity. It takes intentional, mindful thinking, conscious thinking, not being on autopilot. Language is identity in action. Every word you choose is either reinforcing the old self-image or the new one. So think about that as you're going about your day. What would the new person, oh, that's actually what we're going to be getting into. So how would the new version of you respond? So I want to give you one more tool that ties everything together. Most of the interference that happens in communication, the overqualification, the rushing, the shrinking, happens in the 3 seconds before you speak. There's a microsecond where your brain decides, am I safe to take up this space? And if the answer is uncertain, the body reflects it. The body, our body is an instrument of our mind. So here's the rewire. In those 3 seconds before you speak, instead of asking, is this okay? Ask, what would she say? What would that new version say? What would she say? The one that you wrote about the first night. The elevated version of you. What would she say right now? So anytime you catch yourself saying something like that, I want you to ask, what would she say right now? And then say that. You want to reinforce that by saying it. Now, it sounds simple. It is simple. And it's the most effective internal switch that I've ever seen, because it takes the decision out of the fear brain and it puts it back into the identity brain. So you're not asking, is this okay? You're asking, what does she do? And she already knows. So it's not conjuring up that fear. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to integrate some of this stuff. And so we're going to get to relax for a minute, okay? And we're going to get to relax. So if you all are in a quiet spot, I'm actually going to put on just a little bit of music. This isn't going to be very long, but we're just going to go over what we talked about. And going a little bit deeper, too, helps with the central nervous system. And we've talked about that in the previous nights, I think it was last night, where we want to calm that down. We have to practice it. So the more you can do it, the better off you are. The more it's going to become your default way. If I can find it here. Hold on a second. So just go ahead and relax, and then we're just going to start. Here's what I want you to do. You sit up straight if you can. I want you to put your feet flat on the ground and your back up straight. Because here's the thing, when you do that, then the energy is able to come up through your spine and into your brain. And that's what we want.
Grilled chicken, chipotle peppers, and pure honey. It takes heat and sweet to a
Hold
whole
on
new
a second.
level.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. On the other one. Just keep relaxing. Just keep breathing. Okay, I don't want to make this too loud. I think it was too loud the other night. Is that okay? Can you hear it? I don't want it too loud. Okay,
Yes.
that's good. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're just going to relax, and we're going to be doing that breath from the other night, last night. So take a nice deep breath in for 4. We're going to hold it for 4 and out for 6. So in for 4, 3, 4, hold it for 4, 4, and out for 6. And the longer that you can do it out, the better off. And do it out through your mouth. You're breathing in through the nose and out through your mouth. Do it again. In one more time. And hold. And exhale through your mouth for 6. And I just want you to relax your whole body now. Feel your head relaxing. Relax your forehead. Relax your cheeks. And feel this relaxation going down into your neck. Going down into your shoulders. Just drop your shoulders into your chest, down to your belly, into your hips, your legs, your feet, and your toes. And just let them, your whole body relax. Letting everything go. And with each cleansing breath, you go deeper and deeper. And as I count down from 5, you're going to go deeper. Starting with 4, feeling so calm. 3, just relaxing everything. Feeling so grounded. 2, going deeper and deeper. And 1, feeling alert, feeling calm. I want you to imagine now a light in front of you, a beautiful candle. You're in a safe spot, just watching this flame. You're very protected, seeing the beautiful hues of gold and orange and red. Looking at this beautiful flame flickering, almost being mesmerized by it. And I want you to imagine now something from the past where you meant to say something, and it's okay, we're just observing now. You're staying awake, but something from the past where you noticed yourself backing down or apologizing. I want you to just see a picture of it if you can. And just observe the situation. And now, instead of what you did say, what would the elevated version of you say? Ask yourself, what would she say now? What would she say? That elevated version, if she were in the same situation. No apologizing, no second guessing. I just want you to visualize this. I want you to visualize yourself. I want you to just recognize first where you were at that time. I want you to visualize yourself not second guessing yourself, confidently stating exactly what you meant. Notice how good this feels. Notice how right this feels. And notice how empowering it feels. And know that this is you. This is who you are becoming. And now I want you to notice a future situation that you may have coming up. Staying awake, your brain is alert. Imagine a situation that you have coming up where you see yourself walking in and saying exactly what you want, exactly what she would say, the elevated version of you. It could be as simple as in a networking group. It could be with a family member. It could be in a meeting. Just imagine yourself walking in. Ask yourself, what would she say right now? And I want you to see yourself easily and intentionally articulating exactly what you want. I want you to notice that the words flow. They flow naturally, authentically. It's coming from deep within you. And as you're noticing this, I want you to feel how good it feels. And as you're feeling this, I want you to feel grateful. I want you to use your anchor. I want you to put your thumb and your forefinger together. Anchor this now. I want you to be so grateful for her right now. This new version, this upgraded version of you. This woman that doesn't take no, that eloquently speaks. Her language flows. She knows exactly what to say. She is always heard. She is always respected. She is always loved. And she's there for everyone. She is a leader. You are a leader. This is you. And just breathe this in. This is you. Every time a situation comes up and you're unsure, ask, what would this version of me do? How would I speak? How would I act? And just feel this in your heart. So grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. For making me a perfect image of you. I am a leader. Breathe that in. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Take as long as you want. Okay, so I want to know how that was for you. You can put it in the chat. How was that for you? And also, what has changed for you? We're not quite done yet, but I just want to ask, what's changed for you? How have you shifted? Or you can come unmute if you want, or put in the chat. Feeling more calm and confident. Excellent. Yes, and that's where leaders are made. Absolutely. From the confidence, from the calmness. When we can regulate that, even though you are a leader already, you become a better leader. Not allowing nervous energy to rule. Absolutely. My thinking is more confident in myself. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. It's so true. And the thing is, when you can visualize this, it's real. And I don't know if I mentioned when I first found out about this, it was through Bruce Lipton. Are you familiar with him? He wrote the book, The Biology of Belief, and he writes about the science of how what you're thinking about is your reality. Whatever you're thinking about. We talked about that the other night with the lemon, remember? We did the lemon. Yeah. But I always like to see the science of things. I don't know about you. I was a personal trainer and that was my favorite part is learning the science of how you build muscles. So, and now I love learning about how you build the mind. So, thank you for sharing that. So, before I close, I just want to name what just happened. So, you spent 3 days doing something most people never do. You went inside before you went outside. You addressed the identity before the strategy. You worked on being before doing. And that's why you're feeling right now, how you're feeling, it's different from anything that you've encountered on a webinar or a workshop or a training. And this is how I do the nervous system work and identity work, leadership. And it's good for everything. This is the kind of change that doesn't wash off on Monday morning because I work with a lot of my clients on the theta level, where the subconscious is where we have to change things. Once we can change that, then that's who you are in the conscious. You don't have these other things in there that will get in your way from the past. So here's what I know. 3 days give you the foundation, but the real transformation, the kind that makes you the woman who walks into every room as the obvious choice every time without having to remember that that takes longer to do the deep, focused, personalized work. And that's what I want to talk about just for a minute, if that's okay. I have a one-to-one program called the Leader Identity Shift. And it's an 8-week program of private coaching built specifically for women who are ready to stop sitting on the edge of their leadership and step fully into it. And here's what we do inside. Week 1, we complete the identity installation. We started. We use NLP to collapse the old story at the root and anchor a new one so fully that it becomes your default. Week 2, we go deep on the emotional mastery, not just the reset. We address the specific fears that are most alive in you. The visibility fear, the fear of being judged, the fear of taking up too much space. We rewire all of that. Week 3, we rebuild our communication from the inside out. And we'll look at how you speak in real situations. Meetings you're already already in, conversations that you're already having, and we'll upgrade every pattern that's been dimming your authority. Week 4, we work on decision making and self trust. Self trust is huge. Self love, self trust. We eliminate second guessing. We build a process for clean, fast, confident decisions. So you stop hesitating in the moments that matter most. And we also do visibility, strategy, and full integration work, making sure everything you've built is locked in, lived in, and leading you forward. So there's 4 more weeks of that too, of more stuff. But so this isn't a course. This is not a course. This is not a group coaching. This is my full attention on your specific situation, your specific blocks, your specific next level. And I've got a couple of spots open, and I'm not filling them with a checkout link. I just want to let you know I'm filling them with a conversation. So here's what I want you to do if you felt something this week. If you looked at day 1 mapping and you thought, I want to become her, and you don't want to do it alone, if you use the reset and felt what's possible when you're fully regulated, if you started catching your language and realized how much you've been apologizing for your own authority, then go ahead, then be in touch with me. You know how to get a hold of me. So this is for everyone listening on this. And I'm just so proud of every single one of you who showed up this week. I really am. You know what? You didn't have to be there. And I really, I do appreciate that. You did not consume this passively. You did the work. You showed up for yourself. That's leadership. The world needs women who lead from the inside out. Women who don't perform authority, they embody it. Women who aren't waiting to be seen because they already know who they are. And that woman is closer than you think. So I just want to say, I want to end with Timothy 1:7. God has given us a spirit of fear. Let me repeat that. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. So let's make the most of it. We can do anything with God, right? And a little guidance along the way is good too. That's the thing. So I hope you all, unmute for a minute. I hope you all enjoyed this. I certainly enjoyed having you here. And I
It's
just
been
wanted,
wonderful.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming. And I wish you all, so much success, so much greatness, so much leading. And if you ever want to just have a conversation, just give me a call. Okay? No pressure here. All right? Or any questions, give me a call. Okay? All right.